What are the best travel credit cards this year, and specifically, which one's best for you? Whether you're looking for lounge access, annual perks, or even just trying to earn extra points on your flights, these are 6 best travel credit cards this year, starting with the 6th place card on this list, the Capital One Venture. $95 annual fee card covers a credit for either global entry or TSA PreCheck, so you can skip those annoying security or custom lines, and allows you to earn 5x miles per dollar on hotels and rental cars booked through the Capital One Travel Portal, plus 2x on everything else. Now, for example, if you spend $100 on groceries, this means that you'll earn 200 miles. But if you spend $100 booking a hotel, this means that you'll actually earn 500 miles. With that said, the lowest value that you can redeem each mile for is for cash back, and that's at half a cent per mile. Whereas if you really want to get the highest value for your miles, I recommend redeeming them at least for travel through your travel portal, where you can get at least 1 cent per mile. With that said, if you don't redeem your points for miles with this card, you can redeem it for cashback gift cards, but it always pains me to hear when someone redeems their miles on a travel card for anything other than airline tickets or hotels, because you can lose so much value there alone. Now, with this card, there is an intro bonus where you can earn 75,000 miles when you spend $4,000 in the first 3 months of account opening, and if you redeem them correctly for travel like I recommend, then that's a value of at least $750, which is a great start for this card and a great start to this list. Moving on, there is one card I want to give an honorable mention that isn't on this list, and this card is what I would consider a financial J fave. With that said, the honorable mention has to go to the Bilt card, a no annual fee card that actually allows you to earn points on your rents. And even though it's not a travel card, the amount of points that you've earned per year with this card definitely can help with any trips you plan to book this year. Now, I know what you might be saying. The Bilt card, what's different about this card compared to any other card that you can use in your renting portal? And that's a great question, because the difference is that with the Bilt card, you won't actually pay a transaction fee for your rents. And that's as long as you meet their only requirement of having 5 additional transactions per month, which I normally recommend that people put their subscriptions on, like Spotify, Hulu, or even Netflix. Now, I know your second question is probably, what if your building doesn't accept credit cards? Well, it's simple. The Bilt card actually provides you with either an ACH number or a check that they'll send directly to your property management. And that's not to mention the fact that with this card, you also have the ability to earn 2x points on travel and 3x points on dining. Pretty solid for a no annual fee card. And in addition to that, this is one of the easiest ways to get your on-time rent payments added to your credit history, which is pretty amazing if you ask me. Now, before we move on, if you want to check out this card or any card on this list, I'll leave links to all of them in the description below that also help support these videos. With that said, next on the list, we have the Capital One Venture X, a $395 a year premium travel card with some pretty enticing benefits. Because not only do you get the same credit for TSA PreCheck or global entry, and there's no foreign transaction fee, but you also get unlimited complimentary visits to the Capital One, Plaza Premium, and Party Pass lounges, as well as up to 2 guests per visit, which is valued at around $65 per person. This does include the new DC lounge though, and the best part about this card is that authorized users can also get access to the lounge and bring in guests without a primary card holder present. Which, really quickly, if you don't know what an authorized user is, it's someone who's added to your credit card account. They get their own card and they have the ability to use it as much as they want, meaning if they wouldn't spend on that card and the account balance is not paid on time or off in full, it will impact your credit, so it's important to be careful who you add. You can add up to 4 people, like partners or family members, and each card can be added at no additional cost. So they'll also get access to the Capital One Lounge without having to pay any fees. Personally, I added my friend Seth to my card because I know how often he travels each year, so he can try out and enjoy the lounge access that differs from the other cards that are on this list. In addition to all of this, the Capital One Venture X also gives you a $300 annual travel credit that you can use in the Capital One Travel Portal, and in addition to that, you'll also receive 10,000 anniversary miles after your first year, which is equivalent to around $100 towards travel. Now, one of the great things about the Capital One Venture X is that it gives you the ability to earn 10x miles on hotels and rental cars, as well as 5x on flights, all booked through their travel portal, and 2x miles on everything else, an upgrade from the Venture. And if that weren't enough points for you, it also has an intro bonus where you can earn 75,000 miles when you spend $4,000 in the first 3 months of account opening. Which, remember, those points are worth around 1 cent per mile, so this would be equivalent to around $750 when used for travel. Out of all the cards on this list, I'd say that the Capital One Venture X is a pretty solid premium travel card, even though it's fifth on this list. This still allows you access to lounges and provides you with solid annual benefits. However, if you think that this card's great, wait until you see the rest. Like the next card on this list, the Chase Sapphire Preferred, a $95 a year travel card that's strong competition for the Capital One Venture X. However, this card's points and rewards are completely different. With the first big difference, this card not providing you with a credit for TSA PreCheck or global entry, but does come with a 1-year membership to Dash Pass, which is equivalent to around $120 a year. With Dash Pass, you'll have $0 in delivery fees and reduced service fees on all eligible orders, 5% back in DoorDash credits on eligible pickup orders, and exclusive member-only offers. But it is important to note that this is only a 1-year membership as long as you activate it prior to December 31st, 2027. Now, in addition to that, you'll also receive a $50 hotel credit when you book through their travel portal, and you also have the ability to earn 5x miles booked through the same travel portal after that credit's used. Then 3x points on dining out, online grocery store orders, and select streaming services. Not to mention 2x points on travel outside the travel portal and 1x on everything else. Now, this card is a little bit different from Capital One or even American Express, because when you redeem your points through the Chase travel portal, those points are actually going to be worth 25% more, which is where some of the biggest value of this card comes in. Because let's say you earn 10,000 points. Through many other cards, those 10,000 points would only be worth around $100. But with the Chase Sapphire Preferred, when you redeem them for travel, they're actually going to be worth $125, which is really nice, especially when you look at the intro bonus. With this card, you can earn 60,000 points when you spend $4,000 in the first 3 months of account opening. And again, with other cards, those 60,000 points would be worth around $600. But with the Chase Sapphire Preferred, these points would be worth $750 when redeemed for travel. And that's not to mention the fact that with Chase, you'll actually have access to some of their best partners like United, Air Canada, making this card like a key to massive point redemption value when it comes to those transfer partners. Now, with that said, you do have to remember that Chase Sapphire Preferred is a great travel card. However, it is still a mid-tier travel card, meaning it doesn't come with something like lounge access. But the benefit of this card is that you do have that lower annual fee, higher point multipliers and redemption values, as well as access to those amazing transfer partners. With that said, moving on to the next card on this list, we have the Chase Sapphire Reserve, a $550 annual fee card and one of the best travel cards out there. And that's because while this card might be expensive, it's chock full of perks. Like the first one, a credit for either global entry or TSA PreCheck, and access to the Party Pass, Air Canada, and Chase Sapphire Reserve lounges, which if you haven't been to yet, I will say they are pretty nice. Plus, in addition to that, you're also allowed 2 guests per visit, and any additional guests can enter with a card holder for an additional $27. Now, in addition to that, this card also gives you that similar access to 1-year membership of Dash Pass, plus a $5 monthly credit will be attributed to your account. Then, in addition to all of that, the Chase Sapphire Reserve also comes with a $300 a year statement credit that can be used for flights, hotels, rental cars, cruises, and more. And the nice part about this travel credit is that it doesn't have to just be used in the Chase travel portal, meaning you can use it on something like a taxi or limousine, and it would still be considered under that credit. Now, you would think with all of that, that would be it for this card. But you forgot that this card also has great spending categories, like your ability to earn 10x points on hotels and rental cars, as well as 5x points on flights, all booked through the Chase travel portal, after your $300 credit. And that's not to mention, you can earn 3x points outside the travel portal, plus 3x points at restaurants as well, which is great. But just like with the Chase Sapphire Preferred, those points may actually be worth more than you think, because of the fact that with the Chase Sapphire Reserve, when you redeem your points for travel, those points will be worth 50% more. Which, if you look back at our other example, when you redeem 10,000 points and they're worth $100 on other cards, those points will be worth $125 on Chase Sapphire Preferred and $160 with the Chase Sapphire Reserve. And that's not to mention that this card has an intro bonus where you can earn 60,000 points when you spend $4,000 in the first 3 months of account opening. So if you were to redeem those 60,000 points for travel, they would be worth around $900 towards travel. So you can see why I said this card is chock full of perks. With that said, moving on to the second to last card on this list, we have the Citi Strada Premier, a $95 a year mid-tier travel card that I would consider is one of the best cards for its level. And that's because with this card, you'll receive $100 hotel credit off of $500 or more when you book through the Citi Travel Portal, which is probably one of the simplest matchings of having a travel benefit match the annual fee. Then when it comes to your spending categories, you have the ability to earn 10x miles on hotels and rental cars booked through the Citi Travel Portal. And one of the great things about this card is that you can actually earn 3x miles on not just air travel, but also in things like restaurants, supermarkets, gas, pretty much covering all of the major spending categories that any everyday person has. Now, Citi doesn't have an increased point redemption value like Chase does, but I will say it is hard to find that many spending categories all on one card. With that said, they do have some great transfer partners like JetBlue, Virgin Atlantic, and more. Plus, they have a solid intro bonus where you can earn 60,000 points when you spend $4,000 in the first 3 months of account opening, which those points are worth around $600 toward travel. Now, with that said, there is still one more travel card on this list that has an annual fee of $695, but has over $1,000 in annual benefits, like a $200 airline fee credit, a $200 prepaid hotel credit, and provides you with $200 a year in Uber Cash, which could be used for either Uber or Uber Eats. Plus, in addition to all of that, like many of the cards on this list, it also provides you with a credit for Global Entry or TSA PreCheck. And unlike some other cards on this list, also provides you with a credit for Clear, which, if you don't know what the difference is between TSA PreCheck and Clear, think of TSA PreCheck as the Express line and Clear plus TSA PreCheck as the Super Express line. And when I say Super Express, literally in a lot of cases, when you go to a Clear terminal and check in, a Clear representative will actually escort you from the Clear terminal to the front of the model. Now, if those benefits weren't enough, in addition to all this card also gives you access to the Centurion and Priority Pass lounges, which of all the lounges so far, the Centurion lounges actually have the most so far of any card on this list. The only real downside of this is that for the Centurion lounges, you will have to pay an additional $50 per person, unlike with some of the other lounges. That is, unless you exceed $75,000 in spend each year, then that guest is free. Now, in addition to that lounge access, you will also have access to the Delta Sky Club when you fly with Delta with an above economy seat, which these lounges are great and it gives you even more optionality when you are at the airport. Now, in addition to all that, you can also upgrade your status with Marriott and Hilton to the gold statuses for both, which would take you around 25 to 40 nights stay. And with that status, allows you to receive upgraded rooms when available, late checkout, and even more benefits. With that said, we can't forget that this card also allows you to earn 5x miles on flights and prepaid hotels, all booked through airlines or AmexTravel.com, and then 1x points on everything else. And like every other card on this list, this one has an intro bonus that you can earn when you spend $8,000 in the first 6 months of card membership, which those 80,000 points are worth around $800 towards travel, which is a nice add-on to the plethora of benefits that this card provides. With that said, the last card on this list is the Platinum Card by American Express. One of my favorite travel cards, which leads me to something that you guys are understanding. Even though we've gone over the list of the top travel cards of this year, you really need to know what are the best credit cards of this year. To figure that out, check out this video here and see you in that one.